guess what? Guess what? Anyway, first. Hello, welcome to another exciting episode of the Career Compass. My name is Vera Mohie. I'm your host for today's show. Always your host. So, welcome to the Career Compass show. I'm very thrilled to have you here as we dive into another powerful episode of the Career Compass here. So, today is all about career growth and success for this month, which we had spoken about reboosting your career strategy last week. And today we have something very exciting for you. So today we are moving beyond New Year resolution. And remember last week I spoke about reboosting, I spoke about New Year resolution, where so many of us like setting New Year goals and resolution and we don't fit in and we don't make it. So today we'll be discussing on how to make a very strategic plan for you. So today all we're going to be doing is career. So if you're just joining us for the very first time, if you're just listening to my voice for the very first time, my advice to you out there is this. I hope you're with your notepad, you're with your pen to jot down, to write down everything because today's section is going to be very, very interesting, wonderful. So too often we actually set career goals, but we struggle to follow through. Yes, every January you say New Year, New Me. I don't go through it. New Year to New Me every January. I know you're out there looking at me. You're out there. You're listening to my voice out there. Which career goal plans do you have for this year and you have not started with it? So if you have ever felt stuck somewhere, you ever felt sick about your career journey, unmotivated or unsure of your next step, this episode is for you. And guess what? I told you from the beginning, guess what? I have a very fantastic guest joining me today. He's a multiple award winning social entrepreneur, a medical personnel, and also an AI researcher. He is the founder of Hive Nigeria and a non-profit organization that deal with medical and education. So for underserved community, sorry. And he's also deeply involved in blockchain. So all of you out there, my blockchain lover, AI enthusiast, for you, he's going to talk so much. So I'll be going on a very short break today. Ladies and gentlemen, please, I won't introduce my guest yet. So when I'm back for my break, I'll be introducing my guest. Welcome once again. It's still the Career Compass on UNICAL Radio 103.5 FM, and I'm your lovely host, Vera Mohie. And today, before we dive into this topic, I spoke about having a very lovely guest in the studio. So, if you're just joining me, let me still give a brief about my guest in the studio. I said he's actually a multiple award winning social entrepreneur. He's also a medical personnel. Like, seriously, I want to be like him, Sha. And also an AI researcher. He's also an AI researcher and he does lot of things. So that's just a few I can give you, but I'll let the gentleman introduce himself. I'll let him talk for himself because I can't just be doing all the talking. He knows how to explain himself better than I do. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my career explorer out there, please welcome Clement Umoh. Clement Umoh to the studio today. Good morning, Mr. Clement.
Good morning, Vera. Good morning, Calabar. Well, I'd like to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depends on the time zone you're tuning into this radio station today. My name is Clement Umoh, and the host has done so much of justice to my introduction already. Yeah. But then, I'm an AI researcher, I'm a medical personnel, and I specialize in blockchain research
No, no,
and
just hold on first. Just
telemedicine.
hold on. Just small, small. We'll come to that. Just don't hurry. Don't rush. Don't hurry. Just small, small. Okay. Clement, it's actually a pleasure having you today on the show.
Thank you so
And my
much.
first guest for the year. So I
Mm.
would have done what to call a clap. I don't even know what that thing they used to ring on this thing for you. But actually, it's very, very nice having you on the show.
Thank you.
Before we dive into today's topic, we would like you to tell us a little about yourself. Just a little, not plenty. We know that you do plenty things, just small. So let us just know about you. What actually inspired your path into healthcare, AI, and social entrepreneurship? Like all the combination. What inspired you as a person?
All right. So, when I received my 2024 Princess Diana Award for humanitarian service from um, Prince Charles, that question was asked actually, and then he did reminisce growing up, and yeah, they really grew up in so much wealthy place and stuff, right? People suffering from the very basic lack of amenities, things that they should, you know, should naturally have, the things that should come as a right became luxury. Things like access to clean water, things like access to the most basic form of healthcare. So I had this passion in me that I had to rewrite the narrative, and it was my first inspiration to first start um, becoming a medical professional. And then after that, I felt that I had the abilities that would go beyond just attending to my patients in the hospital. I had to do something extra, to push this healthcare to other people who I cannot immediately attend to, and that's why I sparkled up my interest in AI. And then I have specialties in telemedicine and epidemiological predictions, and just to see how we can curb disease among populations. So that's been my inspiration.
Oh well, that's very nice. It's very, very lovely. And I really I like what's it called? I don't know what to say right now, but it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot for just one individual. It's a whole lot, and I really appreciate your move, and I'm happy for that. Yeah, before we get into the main topic for today, like that's incredible. Your inspiration, your work span multiple industry, not just the medical, your the social, like everywhere. You're all weather, health, AI, and social impact.
And
How
waste recycling
and
as well.
waste.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. How did you actually strategically plan your career to align with these interests?
Okay, so what I did was I first of all picked the point where I had to start from, where I would commit the next 6 years of my life in school. That's in College of Medical University of Calabar actually,
Okay.
and I had to put everything in, and I came out graduated. Yeah, and then I decided that because I tried to align my decisions right for every step I take, and then I felt okay. I had this passion to do AI, and then I had to start doing things that were AI related. Getting involved in conversations and joining groups, trying to make friends with people. Because my journey here is just 3 years, 3 years, not that I've been for the long or for the most time. So, and then I also felt that, oh, I had this flair for waste as well, waste recycling. And I had to also reach out to people who were experts in that field and try to with them as well. So for me, it has been about harnessing collective intelligence in my journey of growth. So at every point, I make a decision and then decide to do things that would help me achieve that decision, and then try to build networks around it.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we'll be going on a very short break, but before we go on that very short break, please do tune in. Please, if you are there, if you want to join the conversation, if you have any question to ask us, please tune in. You can send your message on WhatsApp or on our social media, or call in on the show. For you to call in on the show, send a WhatsApp message. Please, you can call in on 08094444058, 08094444058, or you can go on our YouTube page, UNICAL Rain. We are live right now on YouTube and stream. So you can see us, you can see our beautiful faces, you can see my lovely guest face, and just like you feel the physical impact. You're not just hearing us on audio. So just go on like, so check up all our social media pages, follow us up on all social media, UNICAL Rain One. And Career Compass Show has a social media page where you can send in your question to our page, Career Compass with Vera Moye. So I'll be going on a very short break, and when I'm back, we're going to dive deep into this topic. Five FM, and you're doing this with Vera Moye and her lovely guest in the studio, Clement Umoh, a entrepreneur, a medical personnel, and he an AI researcher. So right now, before we actually went for the break, he was talking about himself. He had to introduce himself, the things he does, and every aspect of his life. So now we're going into the discussion for today. We are going to be talking basically what our topic for today is. So now let's get into the heart of today's discussion: building a career action plan. Yes, building a career action plan. I have spoken like several times that so many persons have plans. Like they have plans, they're written down their plans. Last week I spoke about reboosting your and today we're talking about building a career action plan that actually works. That works, yes, not the one you just write out there and not functional, it's not doing anything, it's not working, it's just there. And we go on and go on every single day. So today we'll be talking about building a career action plan. So Clement, many people start the year with resolution. Let me use myself for instance, and other persons in the university. There's other students and even students that haven't gotten admission yet, professors and all of them. They start the year with resolution, writing this year I want to do this year I want to do that, this year I'll have 5 million euro in my account, this year I want to study 5 courses. But they end up struggling to follow through. So, what do you think is the biggest reason why people set goals, people fail to achieve their career goals?
Well, I'd like to start by saying that I'm not a fan of New Year, New Me. I don't do that,
Okay.
because I believe that there's nothing really special about the New Year. Honestly, it's just a change in date. That's
Okay.
my opinion, actually. There's a new you. You understand that we use the Julian calendar, of which their New Year starts, I think, around 13 or something. So, are we
Yeah.
having a new generation of persons at different time intervals in the year? So well, I think that for me, one of the biggest issue that people have with not meeting up defined goals is the definition process itself is faulty, right? So we have people deciding to become certain things just because they had some emotional trigger. They just went to church, or they went for a show, or they went for a conference, and then they saw someone doing something and they're like, I like that thing, I want to do that. But then they have something that they have been committed to for a past number of years that they probably should have built on, that probably would have yielded tenable results in a short while, and then they just decided to abandon it. And they just start these things spontaneously. There's no career action plan. There's no, they haven't set up any path for themselves. And then they start procrastinating as well, because I mean, it's something that you're not really prepared for. So you keep on sitting down and hoping that, oh, you're going to do this, and then you end up doing nothing. So I think there are multiple factors actually, which of course, if time allows us to discuss everything, we'll do that exhaustively. But then I think lack of preparedness, poor definition of what you really want, and many other things.
Okay, no problem. You spoke about lack of preparedness. Like, if someone is not prepared for her career goal or for his career goal, that's one reason why you fail to achieve the career. So, how can one prepare for his or her career goal?
So the first thing I would like to say is you need to define. You have to have a career action plan. So by that, what I mean is that it's like a structured roadmap of how you want to grow professionally, right? For example, you want to become, or you wanted to be a journalist or radio presenter, I guess, and then you decided to register to be a mass comm student, and you attended practicals, and maybe IT sessions, and then you're here today hosting the show. Now, people, you want to travel outside, or for example, you want to study outside via scholarships. Okay, you set out the plan from January, and then you don't even have an international passport for yourself. You don't even have your transcripts ready. You are not constantly on the web searching for opportunities. You don't belong to any WhatsApp group that shares opportunities. You don't have friends who are studying abroad via scholarship as your mentors. So, what exactly are you preparing for? So, you need to have an action part, like more like a timeline that, okay, I want to finish up a certification in a certain course, and then by month one, I should save up money to buy this course on Coursera, and then by month 2 to 3, I should start studying, and maybe like write some tests, and then maybe from 5 to 6 I would have like an exam and then wrap up. So people don't do this. They just tell themselves, I want to do this, and there's no concrete plan. And it's popular saying that goes that if you plan to if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, of course.
Yeah.
And I also do advise people that if you're setting career goals, you need to use a smart analogy. That's the specific, measurable,
People.
achievable,
Yeah.
um, relevant, and time bound. And of course, you have to be very specific. You need to ensure that you put in a time to that. That's like, okay, you have like 6 months, right, to study this. It helps you. It helps you speed up your progress. It helps you track your progress, and then it has to be relevant too as well. Relevance to your skills, your skill sets, right? Relevance to your environment as well. Because I mean, if you don't have the skills, you can't say you want to be a doctor, medical doctor, for example, and then you're going to register in a culinary school as a start to that kind of career choice for
Nothing
yourself.
is impossible.
Well, I like to say that, but I mean, I'm a realist. I like saying, I'm not
Yeah.
saying that it's bad, But then that is your immediate career choice. You need to do things that
Yeah.
would help
Help.
achieve that, and then maybe other things can come in passing.
Okay. Yes, that's very, very true. Every day, every time we come on the show, we speak about the SMART format, using the SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant,
And
and
time
time
bar,
bound.
yeah.
Like your career, everything, your goals have to work towards that plan, the SMART format. Because if you're not using that SMART format, sorry to say, you are darling. Actually, so it's okay. Yes, it's true that we have to use our SMART format. We have to be prepared. So now, if someone listening wants to take control of their career this year, like they want to really be in charge of their career, where do they start from? What are the first steps? I know you've spoken about being prepared. What are the steps to creating a solid career action plan, apart from the SMART format? And what else can I do?
So I would like to say that um, very practically, it's a mix kind of thing. Like it's a mix of many things, right? So we're looking at skills, building skills. If you want to start your career, building skills, um, building mentorship or seeking out for mentorship and opportunities, right? Because sometimes where people are, for example, myself, like I mean, I would like to, I used to say that getting into the AI space was quite accidental, right? Very accidental. I had a friend coming from India, and then I saw what he did, and I got interested, and that was how I learned, right? But then I had this interest, and I had started learning a thing or two in data analytics, data management and stuff like that. So when he spoke to me about this, it was easier for me to go in because I had some background knowledge. I mean, I wasn't a pro then. I'm not still a pro now, still learning, of course. But then I had some background knowledge that was able to help me get on track quickly because you don't have time actually. Remember, we are using smart technology and it's time bound.
Yeah.
So you see people that you, like I said earlier, you don't have mentors you look up to. You need to have people you look up to in the field. Of course, I'm not saying you have to be entirely like them, but then there are certain things to do that relates with what you want to be, so you can learn from that. Now, you should also have network. They say your network is a network. It's a lot. It's a very powerful statement, of course,
Yeah.
and you need to be very resilient, right? You need to be intentional about these things because most times people feel that once you decide to do something, it has to follow a particular route of success. Like it has to always go up the climax of the hyperbola, you just keep going and going and going to the, it doesn't work that way, right? There are so many ups and downs, right? Now, I was on a video call with a friend two nights ago, and then she was like, oh, she felt like a failure and stuff like that. And then I told her that the very first time I ventured into the AI space, I applied for 78 opportunities. I used to have a tracker then, right? And I told her to guess how many got rejected. And she was like saying, oh, 20. I told her no. Guess. She said, okay, 10. I said, no, 77 of those 77 rejections.
Wow.
All the mails are there on my drive. And I'm keeping them for maybe my children or maybe my mentees, to inspire them. I just had one acceptance, and that was, the whole singularity net thing. And it was like a game changer for me. And then from that, I've had the skills to be able to expand. And I mean, I rarely get rejection these days because of the level of exposure I now have. But then the failures were necessary. So the key is resilience, the key is skill building, the key is mentorship and continuously seeking out for opportunities. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Clement, for that one. You spoke about resilience. What again? Like you just have
Yeah,
to be prepared.
of
So
course.
so you've spoken about how Welcome back, welcome back. It's still the Career Compass Show on UNICAL Radio 103.5 FM with Vera Mohie. And I have a very lovely guest in the studio right now. We have been discussing a whole lot. And if you are just joining, you haven't missed. You haven't missed. And if you are just joining, there's no problem because you can still go to our YouTube page on UNICAL in one and check for the videos there, or you can check our page Career Compass on IG and you will see the video after today. We'll send all the clips there. You can watch the full video on Unicorn One on YouTube. So we're going back into what we have been discussing. Before we went on the break, Clement had mentioned tools you can use to build yourself. And next we'll be talking about overcoming career setbacks. Um Even when with best plan, setbacks happen. Even when you have planned yourself and say, okay, I'm going to do this, these are all what I need to do, there will surely be setbacks. So people lose job, industry shifts, unexpected challenges arise. So now, how can someone bounce back when these things happen, when they don't plan, when things don't go as they plan, after setting all those long career goals and everything, boom, there's one big major setback, whether small or very mighty, but there's a very major setback. So, Clement, how can we bounce back with the setbacks?
Okay, so whenever I plan a project, right, I used to factor in volatility. Okay,
Volatility.
yes, that's the propensity of the project to crash or to fail. And I know we say with proper planning, yes, you can actually meet some, failure to a certain extent. And by failure can come in parts, it can come as a whole, right? So parts of the project might fail, and then you still have the project done, but not in its entirety. So people need to understand that um, our decisions in life, both on personal and a grand scale, are susceptible to failure. Of course, and worst of all, we are here in an economy where anything can happen
Anything can
anytime. Of
happen.
course, yeah. So we have people who stock up goods when the dollar was at a certain amount and now it's higher, and then they have to sell at a loss. So a lot of things happen like that. You didn't plan. I mean, there are stuffs beyond your control. But I used to tell people that acknowledging that failures are inevitable is a big win for you, right? It's a big win because whatever life throws at you, you try to re-strategize, you try to readapt. Now, for me, I think the key to resilience for if you're trying to overcome setbacks, right? It's resilience. It's you understanding that okay, the fact that I failed in this part does not necessarily mean I have to back out. We used to hear this common or this popular story of Thomas Edison that tried lighting the bulb, I think 999. I don't know how true that is, but I come to also hear. And then at the 1000th time, it finally lit up, right? And then he
Yeah.
has that credit to his invention. And we're using that here in the studio today. So, what happened if Thomas Edison stopped at the 999th time or 997th time, right? So, you need to keep on re strategizing. What happens in failure is that it opens your mind or your eyes to a path that you did not see. So, for me, I think failures are like opportunities that are now like that have been brought at this particular thing. You discover that there is something you would have done in a way that would have been probably more efficient in terms of time and resources. And then you find out ways to do that thing that way. And then coming back with the bank. So if let's say I tried to produce this phone in a certain way and it didn't work. And then I went back to find out why this phone didn't work out that way. And then I discovered that, all I had to do was just keep it on my right hand. Meanwhile, all the time I have been running around trying to do this, trying to get this and that to get this from working. So what have I done? I have discovered one unique way, one straightforward way, right? Or a couple of ways now to produce this phone in a way that is more efficient. I don't have to spend so much time, I don't have to spend so much resources. So that's the bright side of failure. I'm not saying that we should advocate to all fail. We have to try and be as successful as possible. But then failure are part of the system, of course. And it's only that I would say that you don't allow failures repetitively because I mean you don't have time. I always say that you don't have time. So once the first couple of failures come, it's the best time to do what I call iteration or iterative refinement. So sit back and tell yourself, what happened to this process? Why did this process fail? right? There's this thing, this program I did undertake. It's called risk management and analysis, right? So there are systems that people use to. I'm not going to be talking about that now, of course, here on this show. Now you sit down and then try to see how you can plot a graph of more like your activities against the success, right? So those points where it doesn't pick, those are your failure points, right? I mean, we don't have a board here that would be more practical. So those failure points are you pick them and analyze the activities points. It will definitely give you what you did wrong more than you in the field. So you reach out to them and you ask questions. So if you're coming back with a bang, trust me. So
Mhm.
the key is just being resilient and being willing to re-strategize and adapt to whatever changes failure throws at you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, we were going on a very short break, and when we are back, we're still going to continue on this. It's still the Career Compass on UNICAL Radio 103.5 FM, and you're with your host Vera Mohie and Clement Umoh on the show today. So, before we went on the break, we spoke about setbacks, how to overcome setbacks, challenges, and other things. So, we've spoken about Clement has given us ways we can overcome setbacks if we encounter them in future, because there are always going to be setbacks and there will be setbacks. So now, speaking of industry changing, let's talk about AI and emerging technology. Yes, that's Sophia. I know you're very, very happy because you're talking
Mhm.
about AI and emerging technology. So for the AI and emerging technology, you're doing some amazing work out there. It's great. The things you're reaching out to persons individual via AI, via emerging technology, and it's a really amazing work. So for health aspect and blockchain research, you're doing a very great work. How do you see these fields shaping career opportunities in the next 5 to 10 years? So if I'm to go into AI or blockchain, how do they shape my career opportunities in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah. So I would like to say that um, most people don't understand that at all levels AI can be utilized, right? So when people hear AI, they think it's one huge thing like that. I mean, every day most persons use ChatGPT, right? And then there's DeepSeek, right? There's Gemini, there's 4.0. There are many things that will help you with generative responses. Now we have people who are, I mean, quite more advanced. They have Siri at home. They have automated systems that help them with repetitive tasks. We have people who use AI for their email listing, to take automated emails and stuff like that. So there are multiple opportunities. Now we have people who write grants for NGOs and stuff like that. Most of them have assistance from artificial intelligence. So all you need to do is provide the right prompt and then you're good to go. So you see that if I have 10 proposals to write, I can do that in 1 hour. than it would have been if I have, let's say, I had to sit on my own to rack my head up and bring up something. So there are multiple opportunities. And I would like to say, I mean, AI is the future. Everything is going artificial intelligence. So this is the best time to get into it. This is the best time to get into it. And if you're jumping on the AI trend, you're on the right track. So for job opportunities, I know there's this fear that AI is going to take away jobs, and we've had that conversation in my close circle multiple times. But then I don't think that that's going to happen anytime soon because AI has not really had this sentience. What I mean sentience, it does not have that full human emotions to understand things. There are certain critical tasks that we cannot delegate to AI. And these are things we discuss when we talk about ethical considerations for AI development and stuff like that. So there's no need to. The best thing to do is try and see that whatever you're doing, try and see that you can leverage AI. Right? You're using a streaming service, that's AI doing, right? You're using social media to push whatever you're doing. So that's AI. And you're using WhatsApp business for people who do vendors. Valentine packages flying up and down,
Yeah.
WhatsApp statuses and the rest. So people are using AI. So it's for you to find out how can this AI be utilized in my field. That's what people need to start doing. Because trust me, AI has come to stay. I mean, in those days where we had when you turn on your studio and TV, I saw Netflix, right? Or I saw something that looked like a Netflix interval. Now, in those days when we used to go and get cassettes from the store, we used to have those full cassette stores where you had to get a round disc and then play it in your DVD and stuff like that. And we phased that out, and that's happening like in every sector. Now, there was a time where you had where you can just sit in your house and then consult. So in still yet to adopt multiple technologies that will enhance voting. But then AI has brought this amount of advancements that you cannot do without AI actually, in the real sense, you cannot. So I advise people that don't stop whatever you're doing actually. If you're even if you're selling maybe like beans or a car, anything on the just find a way how you can utilize AI to push what you're doing. And people do it every day. Any day you wake up and post your oh we're open for business on WhatsApp and people see you're not taking your clothes to people's faces physically, right? You're in your house and through a medium, people are able to see what you're doing. That's AI. Okay. So the most important thing now is for people to you don't have to be a developer or you don't have to be an advanced tech personnel like that to be able to get into AI. So try and see how what you do. If you're a programmer, a computer programmer, for example, there are many AIs now that can write codes for you and then make it a lot easy. And then you don't have to spend so much on trying to hire a programmer. Although, of course, that has a downside, but then it brings more efficiency to the workflow and the whole process. Now, in healthcare, we have um, systems that automate patients' records now, like e-health records and stuff like that. So hospitals become more efficient and there are less mistakes. So it's for you to find out what sector am I and how can I apply AI to this sector, and that's just the best way to start your journey into AI and whatever it is you want to
Okay,
benefit from.
thank you very much for that one. You made mention we've spoken about AI, and there are people out there that still have doubts about AI. They feel like AI make individual lazy, make the youth lazy. Because you're using AI, you don't know what you're doing. You're not intelligent. You might be a dumb or a dullard, like all of those things. So now what would you say to persons out there that feel this way that AI is actually misleading the present generation?
So I would like to say that there's a downside, and they're actually valid. There's validity in the argument, actually, right? Because when we do AI development, we try to talk about the downsides too, like ethically. And one of the downsides is overdependence. So we give an assignment, and then you just all people do is just go and then prompt ChatGPT and they just copy
Copy and
and
paste.
they just paste, and it's not nice. It doesn't enhance creativity, right? Um, discover that there are so many people that can't even write letters and then their final year and then their year three, and they've been writing letters actually in their exam. So on their test, so how are people doing that? I mean, they just have to prompt AI. But then the thing is that when we discuss things, we try to look at the advantage, right? So the advantage actually outweighs in this category of our discussion, outweighs disadvantage, and people need to draw a thin line or a line where human creativity should come in. So even if I'm using my ChatGPT or Gemini to generate responses, I should be able to sit down as a human being. Of course, I'm superior to AI because AI is trained based on data sets. So if it doesn't get a particular data set, it won't give you response. There are certain things you prompt on ChatGPT, you don't have an answer, right? Because it doesn't have the data set to provide that kind of response. But humans are flexible, humans are adaptive, humans are emotional intelligence, and I mean, AI hasn't gotten to that level of intelligence yet. I mean, the highest it has been is maybe the intelligence of a 7-year-old, as at recent reports, right? AI is intelligent than a 7-year-old, and of course, a 7-year-old is still far from that maturity of intelligence. So
Okay.
people need to just draw that line between getting AI for their personal utility or for solving tasks, and then imputing human creativity. So I think if we have like a trade-off, it's really gonna help solve that disadvantage.
Okay, thank you very much. We have really taken long in the studio, and it's really nice because this conversation is it's mind blowing. So we are going to be talking step people can take since we are at the end of the show. We have to be running out of the studio very, very soon. So this has been such a very powerful discussion, a very powerful conversation. So if you are out there, if you've been listening, please just go on our page on social media, on Instagram, go on Career Compass and drop a question there. We are going to be answering that even after the section. Just drop a question on our page, Career Compass with Vera on Instagram. So, Clement, before we wrap up, can you share three key takeaways you would love to share to our audience, young professionals out there, young students out there? Three things they have to do, things they can do to start doing, or things they can start doing to help them build their career stronger and build their action step stronger.
Okay, so I believe that before you tell someone to start doing something, you need to tell them to stop doing a particular thing.
Okay.
So what they should stop doing first is procrastinating. You don't have time. I used to say, no matter the amount of time you live in this world, 70 years, 100 years, is just a tiny fraction of the Earth's existence, right? So the time is actually now. And there's this thing I used to say, it is more expensive, right, to want to engage in the future than to engage now. What am I saying? If I want to build a Facebook now, you know how difficult it will be because we
Yeah.
have a lot of apps in that regard that are saturating the market. Now, if you want to start a TikTok or a YouTube, something, if you want to build an innovation around that, it's going to be more difficult because people have had. But if I started this 10 years, 15 years ago, I know where it is now. So the first thing I would like to say is be intentional, right? So intentionality comes with one, decision making. So decide now, I'm going to take that course now. Decide today. Um, and then be resilient about it as well. Understand that, I mean, it's not going to be a smooth ride, it's going to be quite bumpy. And secondly, start undertaking skills. There's nothing as powerful as investing in yourself, right? There's nothing as powerful as investing in yourself. Go ahead, read those books, take those courses, right? And then thirdly, build network. When I mean network, it doesn't have to be up. So we have this upward and we have flat where I build with friends, of your own age and caliber. Sometimes you're discussing with someone and the person randomly brings one big name into you and you're like, what do you know this person? They grew up together. Right. So most of Dangote or Delala's friends today, most of them, I'm just assuming though, but I know that most of them probably grew together as young people, and then they found themselves at the top today and they're still relating. So when you're building mentorship up, you need to build it across with your friends because, like I said, I'm a big fan of harnessing collective intelligence, human intelligence. So decision making, skills, personal skills, and self development, and then networking and seeking out for opportunities.
Okay, thank you very much, Clement. Thank you very much for
Thank
this
you.
wonderful conversation. And to our amazing listeners out there, thank you for tuning in today. It's already time to leave the studio right now. And remember, your career success is not just about resolution. We've spoken a lot. It's about taking intentional action step. So start today. If you love this episode, share it with someone who needs career inspiration. So you could go on our social media handle by Thursday, that's sorry, the clip will be out on all our social media platforms, so you could go in, take it, you can just reflect on it. Just, you need something to boost you for this year. And don't forget to follow Career Compass for more impactful conversation. Until next time, stay focused and keep moving. Thank you for staying tuned today, and stay till the next show. Thank you very much.